everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mitch's Make a Minute. I actually got it right this time. Hey everyone, how are we all doing today? I'm joined today with Amanda.
Hey there.
And in today's episode, we've got a couple subjects for you. I know that we said that we were going to do, we were going to take a break last episode because we did Transformers Devastation. Not last week, but the week before, I think.
No,
And
last week I'm pretty sure.
was it last week? We took a break somewhere, and like there was just one day I couldn't fucking do it, and then it was you're right. I think it was last week we did Transformers Devastation, and so today I figured, I think we can figure out how to do the podcast. Like, the podcast is always one of those things where it's like, in terms of like its precedence in the hierarchy of what we do, it's not really on the top of my list, but it's also just something I really, really like to do. It's just like me. I get a chance to ramble into the void for like for at least like an hour or so.
Yeah, I feel it.
So today we're going to go ahead and we're going to be talking about a couple different subjects, but before we do that, let's go ahead and do channel news real quick, yo. In today's channel news, we have so it's not this week. I have to emphasize it's not this week. But next Wednesday, from our understanding, the Pokemon DLC is supposed to come out on June 17th. What that means is that Friday, we will be instead of playing FFX will get hijacked for a while so that we can play Pokemon. So I just want to give everyone the heads up. So it's not this week, it's next week. If you go to the Nintendo store, they still haven't posted that it's coming out on the 17th, but everywhere else online says it is. So just so that we're prepared for it, and just so that you guys are prepared for it, we will be doing Pokemon post the 17th. And we will be doing the Pokemon expansion until, like, its conclusion. And Nate will be the one who's playing it because he played Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Yeah, he's the one who played it through the first time for the channel.
So it's only fair that he's the one who gets to continue the tradition. Ace Attorney continues this week. FFX continues this week. I'm having a blast with both, honestly.
Oh, that's right. I wanted to ask you what you thought of Phoenix. Damn it.
I wish I had a better voice.
For Phoenix?
Yeah, for Phoenix, because Phoenix ended up defaulting to like my regular ass voice. Like it's a little more high energy. I'm Nick Phoenix, Ace Attorney. I'm Better Call Saul. Like, that's how I do it. Like, it's that high shonen energy. So
makes sense.
It's I've never played Ace Attorney before. That game is really good. I'm really enjoying it. It definitely makes me miss the days where we just did visual novels on the show.
Oh, I bet.
Because while Persona is like a JRPG that has like visual novel elements, I do miss like just visual novels. I miss Fran. I kind of haven't been able to get into contact with Fran. And not that I've sounds bad. Not that I have tried. The world's been such a shitty place lately. I haven't, it hasn't crossed my mind. I barely get in contact with Sora.
She's been busy with her own bull.
Everyone's busy right now with their own fucking bull. Like, it's a pretty shitty situation for everyone to be in, and I hope the viewers at home are staying safe, throughout all of it. But we're not here to talk about the cruel harshness of the real world. Today we're talking about all sorts of dumb video game shit and all sorts of just dumb nonsense that we're always doing. So as far as channel news goes, it's pretty much the same this week, but then next week we're going to be doing Pokemon. That pretty much squares that away. So I think I mentioned like the last episode that I've been playing Red Dead Redemption 2. The last time we did this podcast, I had started it.
And now you're finished.
I finished it, yeah. There is an epilogue that I'm currently doing. But it's, I mean, what's to say? Red Dead Redemption was a game I bought on a fucking whim, and it turned out to be a really, really solid ass game.
You didn't go through the first one, right?
No, I never. I think I played like a very small bit of the first Red Dead Redemption. I think a friend had brought it over, and we played it for like a little bit, and that was it. So going into 2 was interesting. It's definitely one of those like self-contained games. You can definitely just pick it up if you don't have any prior knowledge to the rest of Red Dead Redemption. Holy shit, this game was great. This was fun. This was, I got like, that's the thing, if you guys were around when I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it was that level of like just like constant playing, like doing side quests, doing every little thing you could possibly do, like having Morgan like be this really good guy, and you know, having that conflict, because you know, I think like me and you like chatted for like at least a good 30 minutes to an hour just about Arthur.
Oh, easy an hour.
Like just talking about Arthur and like all the things that happens, and all the crazy stuff. And
oh yeah, and just his life in general, and like plot twists you hadn't seen coming for him at all. And I know you have been really enamored with it. I think, one point we were just watching you play poker for like 30 minutes to an hour. I don't know. I'm just like, why do you keep betting it all?
Because then everyone
you're gonna lose $4.
No, everyone folds that way. It's not that I don't know how to play poker. It's that everyone folds. You got to know when to fold them. Hold them. The first one's hold them. Know when to fold them. Know when to walk away. Know when to run. God damn it! I keep forgetting that he's gone.
Who?
Kenny Rogers. He passed.
Oh shit! You're right. God damn it. Oh God.
That's how fucked up things are right now. You know, like this year we lost Kenny Rogers, like one of like country music's like big icons, right?
Right. You don't even think about it.
No.
So much shit has happened that you're just like, oh right, that's right. Last month didn't the government confirm UFOs? Fuck. There's so much bullshit.
I hope all I can hope is that Billy damn it. It's Billy Joel, I think. Billy Joel did We Didn't Start the Fire, right?
Sure. I thought you were gonna say Billie Eilish for a second,
no,
and I was like,
God.
That's not right.
She did We Didn't Start the Fire, right? It's a very lo-fi pop song that
lo-fi pop song, We Didn't Start the Fire. Fucking God, who did do that song?
I want to say it's Billy Joel. It's Billy Joel. I want to say that.
Yeah, it's Billy Joel. Yeah, I just googled it.
Okay, but
it's Billy
dude,
Joel.
you could just do a We Didn't Start the Fire to just this year alone. like it is so ridiculous how much shit has been going down that like. Not to sidetrack from Red Dead Redemption 2, we will get back to it. Also, if you do not want spoilers for Red Dead Redemption 2, we're gonna get into them, so use this time to like get out of the video if you're not really that if you don't want spoilers and stuff. But like holy fuck, dude, holy fucking shit! Like it is really hard to do this show right now. With like everything going on,
it is being locked inside and then just the entire world like burning down around you, and you're like, okay,
that's so good. Yeah. It's a challenge, but you know, it's also like, I don't know, it's every day feels like there's a new fire, you know, and sometimes the only thing that can keep me sane is to exercise, because I've been doing that now like a lot lately. You know what? Fuck it. Let's take off Red Dead for like a second, right? And let's just go back to the other icon for a second. The only way I've been keeping sane lately is by exercising like the fuck up. I went on like 2 walks today, which it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's They're very long walks.
A lot of walks.
A lot of walks. A lot of jog. But like it's one of those things where it's like the only thing I can even like keep myself sane is to keep active, you know? And that's like always been the way. It's always been what I have to do. But like it just feels ridiculous, you know? Like it's infuriating, and it's to the viewers at home, I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about, you know? We were for the last 3 months, we've all been forced to stay inside. If you're in the States, we've been forced to stay inside, and you know, it hasn't been good, and then all of a sudden all this stuff happens. And while I genuinely believe, you know,
You're all good, man.
no, it's just crazy, dude. It's just crazy.
Oh yeah, a lot's been going on, and at the end of the day, I hope everybody's safe.
Yeah. If you really want to know how I feel, go to my Twitter. Go to my Twitter.
Yeah.
It's in the link.
Go to my Twitter.
Yeah, just fucking Christ. I am so happy that phone cameras exist. I am so fucking happy that phone cameras exist. There was a time in my life where I thought phone cameras were like, oh, like you could just record tons of footage on your phone, because like when we were when we were teenagers, we had those flip phones, right? You could take photos on them. You could take incredibly short videos.
But the worst. I remember when I was like in middle school going to high school, the big shit, razors. Razor phones.
Oh my god! But like that's the thing. Like nowadays, like everyone has cameras on their phones. Everyone can see and can record what's happening, and it's one of those things where like I used to shit all the time on fucking camera phones, because I'm like, oh man, like I was jealous because I had spent like a lot of money on like a camera because I used to do a lot of live action stuff, and I was like, oh, like fuck that, like, oh, like I was all pissy and shit. But now I'm like, man, fucking thank fucking God, right? Because how else are we gonna like? Those people are actively lying to us, you know. It is the most infuriating shit.
Oh, without a doubt, it's so frustrating, and God, fuck. Bless you if you're out there. Fucking bless you if you're not. Just stay safe.
Yeah.
Because shit's bad. But
see, you're better at articulating. I'm just a ball of rage.
Oh, same. But I've had like discussions upon discussions, and I know people who are in the military, and they're afraid that they might be pulled in for this shit, and they're like, I don't want to.
I feel bad because people are clicking on this video thing. We're going to be talking about wizards and like other
I know, some hot wizards.
We're gonna get there.
I guess we could talk about hot wizards. Can you name a hot wizard?
Dumbledore. Gandalf. No.
Gandalf.
We just sometimes I feel like we have to address the elephant in the fucking room.
I do have to. Oh, I know. Oh, definitely. But I do have a very important question. White or gray? White or gray Gandalf?
Gray.
Gray.
I'm
not him riding on that gorgeous white stallion.
I don't like. Okay, so gray is like gray is like basis of all wizards, right? But
right.
white is Jesus wizard. Like that's
Jesus wizard.
It's different. It's different. But anyways, thank you guys for letting us kind of get that out. Let's go back to Red Dead for a second, and then we'll get into some other stuff. Now that hopefully everyone has either gotten out from either not wanting spoilers or whatever, So at the end of Red Dead Redemption, the character you've been playing, Arthur Morgan, he has tuberculosis,
Right.
and you discover it. I think in chapter 6. In chapter 6, it's revealed that he's been having a bad cough for like a while. On
Wait, how many chapters are there?
6.
Oh.
So this is so.
Oh, okay. I thought there was gonna be like 27.
No. It's but there's a lot that happens in the game, but like there's like six. It's based off of where your base is located, and like where like like what's going on in those chapters and stuff. So like the game itself is a wonderful, absolutely wonderful game. But the thing that really got me was Arthur in the final chapter is dying of tuberculosis. He can't, because of his lifestyle, it's not like he can live his last days, in peace or anything like that. So there's this real urgency to try to not make amends, but to try his best at the end of his days. And like there's a really interesting thing. I played very lawfully, despite being an outlaw. I try to do the right thing and stuff like that, and it really created this interesting image of Arthur Morgan, where Arthur was someone who would rob banks and do all this stuff, but it's because he believed in Dutch van der Linde's ideology, Dutch van der Linde being the leader of the gang, and you essentially were his enforcer. And there's just these really solid interactions that happen that I can't imagine like a bad run of the game, like, and how that would go. There's a very nice moment where he's just talking to a Native American chief just about like he's a very quiet, stoic man, kind of think like a Clint Eastwood kind of vibe, right? In those old spaghetti westerns, Man of No Name kind of stuff.
Spaghetti westerns?
Yeah, you've never heard that term before?
No, why are they called spaghetti westerns?
Because they were filmed in Italy.
What?
Yeah, so The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Wait, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was a spaghetti?
Yeah, it's a spaghetti western.
You just complimented me on how good I am with speaking. I'm like, this is was a spaghetti.
Yeah, you never heard that term before?
No. Wait. Are all of Clint Eastwood's movies?
I mean, okay. So let me just make sure real quick.
I'm so lost. Why were they filmed in Italy? We have deserts here.
Okay, so spaghetti western.
Deserts here.
Spaghetti.
It just sounds like Clint Eastwood wanted to go to Italy.
Okay, so spaghetti westerns, also known as Italian westerns, or in Japan they're called macaroni westerns, is a broad subgenre of Western films that emerged in the mid-1960s in the wake of Sergio Leone's filmmaking style. The term was used by American critics and those in other countries because most of these Westerns were produced and directed by Italians.
Oh, wait. So they were made by Italian directors, but were they also filmed in Italy?
I was always told that they were filmed in Italy.
Because if it's that they were filmed in Italy, then whatever. If it's that the fucking if it's that the fucking director mac and cheese western, god damn it. If it's that it was filmed by an Italian director, that's kind of fucked up.
I never thought of it like that. I was always told that they're called
westerns.
I was always told that they were called spaghetti westerns because they were filmed in Italy.
I was like so pleased that they were called spaghetti westerns, and now I'm like, oh no. Oh no.
No, okay, so it seems like that's the case. The filming seems to have, from what I'm reading,
Okay.
it seems like that is the case.
Okay, so they are filmed in Italy.
Yes.
Okay. I went on like an emotional roller coaster just now. I
Uh,
went full emotional roller coaster of like
okay.
spaghetti.
So most spaghetti westerns were filmed in I'm gonna fuck up the name, uh, Cinecita, that's not how you pronounce it. Studios, Cinecita, nah, it's in Rome. And many of the stories take place in dry landscapes of America. Hence, there was filming in Spain.
Wait. Wait, what?
So yes, so they filmed the pieces at the at the studios in Rome, and then whenever they needed desert shots, they went to the Tabernas Desert in Spain.
Do, do, do directors know that America has deserts? Do they also know that Mexico is closer than Spain?
Well, no. So these were Italian film companies making these films.
Okay.
They wanted to make westerns.
So the good, the bad, and the ugly is a spaghetti.
Yes, it's a spaghetti western. Yes.
I'm not gonna call it a spaghetti western.
It's
I refuse. It's spaghetti or nothing.
Okay. Yes. The answer is yes. So
okay. I'm sorry for anyone joining us. The fact that I am stupid.
No. So anyways, Red Dead Redemption clearly has its influences from its soundtrack to a lot of the style of some of the scenes. It's very heavily influenced, obviously, by spaghetti westerns and that kind of vibe, because it's those guitar riffs, those classic guitar riffs that you hear in those types of films. It's a great story. It's a wonderful story. I didn't think it was going to grip me the way that it did, but it really did. It really fucking did. Arthur's last moments, because I'd played in such a lawful, well, not lawful, but in such a chaotic good way. His last moments are like him crawling up this, like he has this big fight with the fucking like piece of shit in the gang, and then he crawls his way up the mountain, and his last view is of the sun, like the sun rising. It's really nice.
Right.
It's just a really nice moment, and the game could have ended there, and I would have been satisfied. I would have been like, all right, that's great, but it's still going. So even though I say I've beaten the game, it's currently in its epilogue section, and the epilogue is having me play John Marston, who is the protagonist of Red Dead Redemption, and going through that. So, great game. Cannot give it enough praise. It kept me playing for like every day off I've had. Every day, like every moment I could find. Like, if I wasn't playing this, I was playing one of my other games that I normally play, or I was playing Dungeons and Dragons. And we will be talking about Dungeons and Dragons right after this next subject.
Okay.
So, Amanda, welcome to the pit of Mitchell's. These shows got canceled, but we're still pretty good.
Thank you, by the way, for pulling me into this hellscape of, oh, this is a really good show. Why isn't there more of this show? What do you mean there's never going to be any more of this show?
That's right. And today's tragedy is Moonbeam City.
Why do you keep doing this to me?
It's not. It's because
this is the second time.
You'll never. Did you finish Zorn?
Yeah.
We finished Zorn.
I believe so.
What was the last episode of Soren?
Oh fuck, dude. Good question. They all kind of blend together. I don't honestly know the pattern. I remember certain ones. I remember his son took pills to make his legs look real. He also he was also staying at his dad's place, and his dad invited his friends over.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it's all over. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I'm trying to
sounds
remember.
it's. Do you remember the Christmas episode, real quick?
Yeah,
Okay, so
I
we
remember. I
probably
think him and his ex-wife had like a competition going on.
yeah, it's definitely God. Yeah, no, Soren. I'm so glad I picked up one of those stupid Funko Pops. I'm so
You're
glad.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I've seen that and I just went, Mitch, he has to
You
have
should
it.
also get one. You should. Then we'll find another one. It has to be out there. We will get you Zorn. But but before we go on a ramble about how the Son of Zorn is definitely a really definitely good show that had just some mishandles and really would have done a great second season, let's talk about another show that was slightly mishandled and could have definitely done a great second season. Let's talk about Moonbeam City. Holy shit, this show was
Oh.
funny. Holy shit, this show was fucking funny.
Oh,
Oh.
it's very, very funny. And I'm very sad that there's only one season because this show is gorgeous. I think I talked about it every single episode we watched where I was just like, the art style is so nice. I just I loved the art style so fucking much. And then the characters were really nice and I love them all. And I love Pizzazz and I love their dumb fucking names.
Oh my god.
And their names are so fucking stupid.
I
Dazzle and fucking Rad and fucking Pizzazz are amazing.
Oh, you forgot about Chrysalis. Oh, god damn it. God damn it. I was just thinking about the stupid cop con bit with her stalker.
Oh no.
Oh, it's so fucking funny. He gets cringier and worse every time you see him. It's so funny. Because, like, the second time... Okay, so for context, because there's no... If you watch the show, God bless you, but, like, I don't... it's up in the air. There's a bit in which a character, Chrysalis, has kind of, like, this awkward dude who comes up and tries to talk to her. And he's coming off a little strong the first time, but then the second time she meets him, he's wearing a shirt with her face. Like like in one of those, the entire shirt is a graphic shirt, and
Mm.
it's just her face. And then like the third time, he's dressed up as her and has written a fan fiction that he was gonna have her sign, but then at the last minute decided not to because you probably shouldn't read that, and it really emphasized her feet. Oh my god.
It's so good. I fucking because at first you're just like, oh, he's just awkward. And then like as it went, you're like, he might be dangerous.
Oh man. Oh fuck.
So good. Either way. So happy.
Oh man.
So happy.
But so let's talk a little bit about, because we can, it's so, there's always the bit in which it's kind of hard to talk about a show when it's really good. Let's talk about why you think it was canceled. Because I obviously I have my theory. I've already talked about it a little bit.
Oh, I know you've already talked about because all right. Your theory, just to reiterate for people watching who might not know, is that shows that are put on right after South Park don't do well. And that's because it stops being the thing that they came there to watch. I personally think shows that are put before South Park would do better. Because, you catch the last couple of minutes of the show, maybe you think it's funny, maybe you decide to watch it next time, you know? There's a chance you might see part of it and then want to see more of it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think as soon as South Park's over, you're gonna just turn it right the fuck off.
Well, the problem is that for years, and I think it's still this way, is they'll show South Park right before the new episode of South Park. So, good fucking luck. Like, it's... I've watched... there was never really a show after South Park that I really thought really punched quite as hard as Moonbeam City did. And, it... That's the thing. And Moonbeam City isn't perfect by any means. There are lulls sometimes. There are moments where the jokes are a little too obvious, or it's not like the second episode's a little. Admittedly, the second episode, while it has a really solid first gag and a second gag, and a good way of putting it is the B plot is funnier than the A plot in that episode, right? Because Dazzle Novak in the second episode stops a kid. Like a kid was like I think he was harassed. He was gonna steal a bike or something, and then Dazzle accidentally stops him. And then they want to film the guy who runs this cop show says, "Hey, let us recreate the scene of this, and air it." And he says, "Yeah, sure." And Rad Cunningham, the guy in the purple, essentially all like it's his favorite show ever, right? But Dazzle keeps kind of pushing the show and or pushing the envelope and wants to make this crime recreation really elaborate and really crazy and really fun,
Yeah, he wants to look as great as possible.
And he makes it, but then eventually it goes even beyond that. Then it becomes this art piece, and it feels like you can definitely tell that the person who, the creator of this show, had was a writer on Funny or Die, like, right? And you could definitely tell that's one of those bits that would have fit for Funny or Die, but doesn't necessarily work for the humor of Moonbeam City. I was gonna say Save Point City.
Actually, it works pretty well for the humor of Save Point City. If I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, no shit, dude. No shit. But then like the B plot is like 1,000 times funnier. Right? The B plot is Rad Cunningham, once again the guy in the purple, who wants to like go and also be on this cop show. And so he makes up this elaborate lie of how he beat up these kids who were harassing a convenience store clerk. And we've referenced that bit like I think twice already.
Yeah, I think so.
Where he's crying and explaining what really happens. Oh, god damn it!
Because he's like, "Oh, I was so heroic, and I beat up those thugs, and fucking I say." Scared, tumbled into a fucking sunglass rack, was blind, fell down a manhole cover, landed in shit, got so scared he shit himself, literally, kept screaming because he could not see, and he was covered in poop. Got it in his mouth, and he's like, "Why did I like it? Why did I like it?" And he's just sobbing on live television.
Oh, and he's trying to divert everyone's attention by trying to play Hungry Hippos. Oh god. Fuck, that got me like a lot more like the second time around. Like holy shit. But like that's the thing. I don't want to just sit here and talk about how awesome each one of these bits are, because once again there were lulls, there were problems. On one of the episodes that I had a particular issue with was there's an episode in which there is a bowler, the bowling episode, in which there's an artist who is being praised, but it's revealed he's the serial killer, right? And Dazzle just doesn't want to believe this guy is the serial killer, and that's the joke. That's the whole joke for the whole fucking episode, and like it's just not as funny. Like the joke kind of drags itself out, and I definitely feel like like some of the later episodes are like way funnier.
Oh yeah, because it feels like they're getting a hold on what they want to actually do.
Oh yeah, Rad Cunningham steals the show every single time. It's like hilarious. Will Forte does 1,000 times better job as Rad Cunningham than he does as Shaggy.
Oh God, that's right.
So we watched Scoob. We're not gonna talk about it,
Yeah.
but we watched Scoob.
How do I keep forgetting that he is Shaggy? He's just Shaggy.
I don't know. Maybe it's because that movie wasn't very memorable. Like we watched
Maybe.
it. We watched it. It was okay, and then like I would totally just watch a movie with Dick Dastardly like being a dick to like his dog and shit, and his dog being a dick back.
Oh yeah.
I'd watch that. I think that would be adorable. It'd be like a fun, shitty kids film. I don't know, but anyways, the Moonbeam City definitely had its issues. It definitely had its problems, but I still firmly believe that given a second season, that show would have been better. I do feel like there's a lot of shows that in their second season really get their footing. One of those shows that comes to mind is Parks and Rec. As awesome as that show is, as great as that show is, that second season is, or that first season is kind of hard to get through because they don't really know. Like everyone loves Swanson. Ron Swanson.
Right.
They love him. Absolutely love him. That first season, they didn't know how to write him. They didn't know what to do with him. So he's just kind of this stern guy around the office, and his character is, I wouldn't say dramatically different, but you can definitely tell that there was a turn in his character within the second season. And there's a lot of, like, this show, Moonbeam City, Son of Zorn, I genuinely believe that if they were just given another season, I think they would have gotten their footing, they would have found their path, and, you know, with Zorn, it was definitely like one of those things where it felt like a lot of it was the marketing.
Right.
Fuck. God damn. Doesn't matter how much water I drink. God damn it.
Just how it is sometimes, dude.
Yeah. Isn't it great when it only happens when
Yeah.
you're fucking recording something?
And literally never any other time, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, I think, like I said before, Zorn. I think Zorn's big thing was its marketing. I think that unfortunately, like the quality of the episodes, unfortunately, were just not that great when they were first being released, and then they were touched up later for like syndicate, like not syndication, but for streaming and stuff. And with Moonbeam came out looking pretty great out the gate. It's just the competition was literally a 15, 20-year-old fucking cartoon that everyone. If you're a fan of it, you're a fan of it, you know? It does gangbusters every season except for. Actually, I haven't really I haven't been liking South Park these last couple seasons, admittedly. You know?
Really?
You know,
What's changed?
I don't. It could be an age thing where I'm older. I don't feel like that's what it is though. There's something fundamentally different in how they're doing jokes. And I feel like I've moved on, you know? I feel like I've moved on from South Park, and now, like, I watch, like I really like Rick and Morty, you know? Like, Rick and Morty's a really good show. I'm not one of those fanatics that takes it into, like, religious kind of territory, but, like, I do really enjoy Rick and Morty. I really enjoy the work of Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland. I think they're a great pair and a duo. I watched a little bit of Solar Opposites, which was Justin Roiland's new show, and you could definitely feel the lack of Harmon in that show. You can definitely feel it. So like so Solar Opposites has like the art style of Rick and Morty, and everyone's like, oh, it's like Rick and Morty light, right? But because that's essentially what it is. With like maybe one or two more things, but like you can definitely you can feel Harmon not being involved with that project. But like I don't really know what the problem with South Park is. I just feel like the premises used to be so much more imaginative, and this serialization that they've been doing, or like even soft serialization that they've been doing, it really, while it was they did one year where serialization was a thing, and it was fucking bomb, fucking killing it, right? Whole season was this one, like, it rarely happened where it was like one continuous storyline, but every episode had like something else going on in it, and so like it was episodic, but it was soft serialization. Where some episodes kind of led into it, others, but they were all dealing with different subject matters and different subject materials. And that season was really solid. You know, when I was a kid, I really liked the Imagination Land, bit that they had going, where it was a trilogy of episodes, and that had never been done before. It was a big fucking deal. Like, oh my god, South Park did a trilogy of episodes. It was like we had never, like, my young mind was like, holy shit. But like, I don't know, like, serialization is a really cool concept if you can pull it off, and that's the problem, is that South Park does really, really solid one-offs, and soft serialization where maybe like they had a bit where Stan got shot, like, in one episode off screen, and then he has like a cast for the rest of the season, and that's a cute detail. That's like a good way to do like a little bit of soft serialization. But like, I don't know. I'm really hoping that this new season is going to be like, is going to do it, you know? Because that's always the fear, right? Is that when you start watching a show because of because it's an obligation, and that this is a rule for anything. When you start doing something because it's an obligation rather than something you enjoy, and it's something you're supposed to be like genuinely enjoying, like in your off time, whether it's D&D, whether it's a game, whether it's a show that you're watching, when it's just because you're following it because you feel like you have to, that's probably not a good sign.
Yeah.
Because I felt that way about Rise of Skywalker, and I came on the show after watching Rise of Skywalker, and I was talking. I said, "Oh, it wasn't that bad. I thought it could have been worse." My thoughts on Rise of Skywalker have changed dramatically since I've seen that movie. I unfortunately am an emotional person, and that emotional elation of watching that film has definitely dimmered and simmered, and now like the water has boiled away, and now all that remains is like the black caramel tar of the less said the better. But we've been blue balling everyone, but they want to hear us talk about D&D today, and we're gonna do that. But before we do, real quick, any last thoughts on Moonbeam City? I kind of hijacked that conversation a little bit there.
Oh, no, just that Moonbeam City was really good. I wish it did have a second season. The art style once again is fucking gorgeous. I really love the fucking 80s theming around it and everything to do with it. Fuck, I mean, I do have a lot of questions for the creator. If I ever just find him, I'm just gonna be like, hey, I just like, I'm not nothing about your other shit. I just need to know what the fuck is going on with Rad and his one toe.
Do you think we could ever get like an interview with that guy? I mean, that's the thing. We looked it up. Now he does a podcast now about roller coasters. I mean, do you think we could like get in touch with him? Because I mean, that would be kind of cool, right? Like, we've never done anything like that on the show. Like,
true.
Like, I don't know. Like, I want to ask him.
I think it could be cool. Yeah.
I'd want to ask him like what happened, like, because we can speculate, but he would probably know why the show like just didn't work, you know?
Oh yeah, if anybody's gonna know, it would be him. He would know what would be going on with his show of more than anyone.
Oh man. All right, let's move into some D&D talk. So today, you looked at the episode. Today's episode's called The Wizards of Moonbeam City. The reason it's called that is because we played D&D every fucking week for the last 3 years.
Yeah. We
have been playing D&D together for a very, 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 very long time. And in fact, coming this November, one of our campaigns will turn 3 years old. And that's an interesting thing to think about.
Oh yeah, we're also close to ending it soon,
Yeah.
so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, but we play a lot of D&D together, and this is a great question or time for if you're in the chat to go ahead and ask us any questions you might have. Both Amanda and I are DMs. We host our own games. You play. Your sessions are 6 hours long.
Yeah, anywhere from 6 hours plus sometimes. I remember one session I did 12 hours. And not fun. It was fun, just I think I died somewhere at like the 8-hour mark. I think I died somewhere in there because I don't recall, and they were leaving my house at like 3, 4 in the morning, and I'm like, you can fall asleep here, you can go home, I don't care, I'm gonna go lay down. It was interesting after a minute.
So I only now realize that you didn't put the link in Discord.
Oh shit.
Oh, it's okay. I'll just.
I forgot.
It's all good. You're all good. I put in there. I'm not gonna add everyone, but if this is a good opportunity for you guys, if you guys for those at home watching, if you have any questions for us about being DMs or anything like that, 100% this is the time to ask now. I kind of want to just go and ramble a little bit about classes and like different things that I've noticed. So every now and then, we're probably gonna do one of these episodes where we're probably gonna sit here and talk about Dungeons and Dragons, because when we're not on the show, what do we talk about? Is Dungeons and Dragons. We play a shit ton of Dungeons and Dragons. We play a session on Monday, on Wednesday. I play Friday and Saturday. Like 4 times a week, I play Dungeons and Dragons. Or I don't play. I'm a DM about 3 times a week. And I'm a DM 3 times a week. Your DM, like what?
Once a week.
Once a week?
Once to twice a week, depending on the week.
So, do you have any affinity towards any specific classes after all this time?
Warlock.
Okay. Can I ask why, or is the answer really, really obvious?
Do you think the obvious answer is because I'm edgy?
Yes.
No, that's not the reason.
Come on, you got to admit, warlocks traditionally, before they were playable, were like enemy wizards who made deals with demons, like Bostonian contracts. And they, nowadays their deities are like, they can be anything, but back in the day, they were all demons.
Yeah. So the reason why I like warlocks is because warlocks are very customizable. You can have like 20 warlocks and none of them will have like the same abilities or set lists or anything, because they can switch that shit in and out depending on their patron. And your patron can be a wide variety of things. Even if your DM, like, if your DM is willing to do home stuff, yeah, it is my goth aesthetic. Even if your like DM is willing to do homebrew, that opens it up so much fucking more. What do you want to be your patron? Do you want it to be fucking a fairy, a lich, Cthulhu? It could be whatever you want, because all a patron has to be is someone strong who can give you power. That's it. And your deal is also very interesting, and it lends very well to like role playing and everything to do with it. Because if I'm gonna be honest, if you're a paladin player or you're a cleric player, good for you. Your god didn't choose you. You chose your god. As a warlock player, guess what? My god chose me. It's a little elitist.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Fuck. Like, god damn. That's not really okay. So that's the thing. That's not really fair to say, though. I mean, there are paladins who, yes, their oath might be towards one thing, but like towards a holy cause. But like it doesn't necessarily mean the same thing, right? Warlocks can make pacts of powerful demons. You still have, like, that's the thing. It's really dependent on how the interpretation works, right?
Well,
does the demon seek you out, or do you seek out the demon? It's literally interpretation.
It goes both ways.
Yeah.
It goes both ways. Because in the Great Old Ones, you can't find a Great Old One.
God, I'd hope not.
You really can't find a Great Old One. The way you get Great Old One powers is that it calls to you in your dreams. You have dreams about the Great Old Ones, and they call to you.
Man, that's really fucked.
Yeah, it's fucked up. And depending on, like, any single one of them, like, if it's for the Fae, you could have stumbled into, like, a field of mushrooms, or fuck, dude, any way you can, like, go into the fairy world is an easy way. And that could be as simple as, oh, I'm in a field, the rest of this fence fell down, but there's still a gate. I'll just walk through the gate. That's enough. No joke. And then bam.
I mean,
phase.
I don't. Whenever I think about, like, warlocks, I think of the Faustonian contract. You know, I think of the story of Faust. Right? I want knowledge. I want all these things. You make a deal with the devil. Yeah. He gets your soul at the end of the day. That's warlocks. That's how warlocks should be. Like, I don't.
Oh yeah, no doubt, because that's also it, right? Warlocks want something. A contract isn't one-sided. I want something. You want something. Let's make it happen. And I like that. I think it lends very well to, like, storytelling and role play.
Oh yeah.
Because you want something, but guess what? Your patron wants something too. You're not getting all this power for free, bucko.
You know who my favorite...
gotta pay the price.
You know who my favorite warlock in fiction is? Light Yagami.
You know, that's not who I thought you were gonna say.
Who do you think I was gonna say?
You know who I thought you were gonna say, you fucking Warcraft lover.
I wasn't even thinking of Gul'dan. Shut up.
How were you not thinking of Gul'dan?
I don't know. I thought of Light Yagami. I was like, here's the contract. Here's your death note, buddy. Here you go. Fucking Pact of the Tome. There you go. Like, fuck.
I mean, without a doubt, right? Pact of the Tome, power word kill. Fucking there you go.
Oh, man. Oh, fuck. But yeah, so that's the thing. So you really have an affinity towards warlocks. I don't really get a chance to play that often. A lot of times when I'm playing in two of the campaigns that I do get to play in, and including not including yours, because yours I get to play a ranger. But in the two that I do get to play in, it's two homebrews, so it's kind of hard to really say what within 5e do I get a chance to play. But I do notice that I have a very specific play style.
Yeah.
A lot of the characters I like to play are intelligent characters who are able to, like, do unique things or have a specialty about them, right? Even when I played a monk, there was a specialty with him that might not necessarily make him the most interesting thing ever, but he's more of a, you know, his whole thing is combat. You know, he enjoys combat. He's adventurous and boisterous and likes to really just go on that adventure. And that was my attempt at that character. And there was admittedly a problem with it, you know, like that's something that I really noticed was all my characters have this tendency to be the characters that are very specific are able to do a lot of things within that speciality, right? So, for
Right.
example, I built a divination wizard, and for those at home who don't know what a divination wizard is, the reason why I picked wizards, I fucking love wizards. Wizards are fucking great. But let's talk a little bit about divination wizards just for a second, right? So, divination wizard has a very interesting ability. They have an ability called Portent. Starting at the second level, when you choose the school, glimpses of the future begin to press in on your awareness. When you finish a long rest, roll 2d20s and record the numbers rolled. You can replace any attack roll, saving throw, or ability check made by you or a creature that you can see with one of these foretelling rolls. You must choose to do so before the roll, and you can replace a roll in this way only once per turn. Each foretelling roll can be used only once. When you
Right.
finish a long rest, you lose any unused foretelling rolls. And the reason I'm talking about this is because divination wizards essentially can see the future. Think of a fortune teller, right?
Yeah.
They're able to, and maybe it's not see the future. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but they're able to do things like cast identity, or not identity, identify, and other spells. They're diviners. They're like in my character when we were playing, I was able to figure out what was going on with a old hag in the middle of the
You were
fountain.
able to figure it out because she was nice.
That too.
And you're like, I don't fucking trust that.
Hey,
You walked into the fucking plaza of the fucking middle of the town, and everybody was sad and miserable because it was wet and rainy, and she was handing out fucking warm meat pies, and you went, sinner.
hey,
I
that's
don't trust you, old bitch.
there was other context clues you gave. That wasn't just the single one. The lifelessness of everyone coming in and out of that line made it very obvious that something was up.
Yes.
And if I
Oh my
wasn't playing that
goodness.
specific character, I wouldn't have noticed it. But I was playing a character that was very insightful, and so it kind of lend itself to that point. But the point is that Portent is an incredibly interesting ability, and because
I
you
do
were
miss the Divination Wizard, despite how much he fucked up my shit.
divination wizards are incredibly interesting because essentially what they can do is they're able to save people or help people out.
You fucked up my fucking rolls, my important rolls, because you just went, nah, change it. Change it. I don't want you to roll that anymore. And I'm like, but I
Wizards are
okay.
cool.
Oh, I know, but it fucked me up. Also, sleep. Sleep fucks me up.
Oh man.
You
Well,
guys, I've had like 2 major fights, and fucking every time it's like, sleep. And it's fucked me up every time.
there's also another great wizard class, or another great wizard subclass is the School of Abjuration. Now, if you don't know what that is, once again, I'll give it a really quick one. Abjuration essentially is shielding. It's magic that blocks, banishes, or protects. It's essentially a school that says "fuck you." So it spells like counter spell, and other things like that. It pretty much works. Shield, it's a great one. But one of the great things about abjuration wizards is that they're able to produce a light shield around themselves that's
Right.
based off of your like it has temporary hit points. The ward has hit points equal to twice your wizard level plus your intelligence modifier. At higher levels, this gets really interesting and really powerful because essentially what you can also do is when a creature that you see takes damage at the 6th level that's 30 feet within you, you just fucking project your shield to them and save them from any like let's say your buddy was about to get stabbed. Fuck that. Shield time. You are a literal wall of magic. You are constantly producing defensive spells. Maybe you're not healing, but you're able to shield allies from horrible fates.
Oh yeah, I want to say that like wizards right after warlocks are a big favorite of mine. Because once again, they're just so fucking versatile and fucking I've played a couple of wizards now. Besides gathering spells, God, that fucking frustrates me so fucking much. But besides having to gather spells, uh, I really do fucking enjoy playing a wizard. I mean, I've gone from a necromancy wizard to a blade singer,
Hmm.
which is a wizard subclass. And those are two very different like styles of play, you know? One of them is raising the undead to build an army. The other one is being able to fight on my own and just be able to walk away, you know?
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. Wizards are just so like they are the Swiss Army knife of. It's weird because they can do so much, but they also can specialize. And specialization, I think, when you're building a character, really helps create a unique identity towards your character that I think gives you a very specific role in your party, but also kind of helps with your writing if you're writing your character a certain way. I have an illusionist I want to play, right? The illusionist is a writer. They if the story goes that they essentially wrote this story that was supposed or not a story, but they were trying to write a essay on the moral standings of the Raven Queen.
Right.
And their editor kept pushing it back and kept like changing things until eventually it became a smutty romance novel featuring the Raven Queen that became a bestseller. And the character feels so like distraught about it that they're like, you know what, fuck it, I made all this money off of the book, I'm going to learn how to, like, because he wasn't a mage before, he picks up a book, he gets a tutor, he learns how to do illusion based magic, and then he goes on an
Right.
adventure like on across the world to learn more about the world so that he can write a better book. And his whole character's arc is based off of these illusions. And at the beginning, he creates very simple illusions, right? Like, let's say he's running down a hall and he turns a corner and he sees a bunch of trash, right? So he'll go up, like grab his knees, like get in the fetal position, and then cast minor illusion so that it looks like there's a barrel with the rest of the trash, right? I liked that. I liked that dumb gimmick. I like the idea that his illusions are very, I wouldn't say childish, but they're very like they're very clever. They're very like
Oh yeah.
um he like when someone's fighting him or when he's trying to help someone, he'll cast minor illusion and make the sound of a gunshot so that it throws someone off, right? Or or
Mm.
or create the brief image of an arrow so that someone thinks that it's flying by.
That's why I liked your wizard so much because you were so creative with everything you were doing with him.
It's and then eventually like the character would like see the atrocities of the world and like start his imagery would become worse and worse, and especially when the illusions start to become like real and like through like phantasmal killer, through some of the other abilities that illusionists have, like the illusionist becomes like it's very strange. It becomes incredibly disheartened with the entirety of it, and by the end of the adventure, it's the book that he has written, which was supposed to be about all the things that he'd gone and see like all these other people's stories. He ends up putting the book aside, writes his own story, talking about this disillusionment. It's very heavily inspired off of the feelings that Tolkien had post World War One.
Right.
I know it's a weird pool to be like at the very end to be like to bury the lead a little, but like that's that the care like when you read about how he felt about it and how he translated that into Lord of the Rings and this idea that you could never truly go home, you know. I think that that's a really powerful statement, and I just felt so like driven to kind of like make something that could work for it. I also that's the thing, like it's I've made two divination wizards. I've made one that was a con artist and one that was an old man who used his divination skills to be a navigator on the sea. He was the Mr. Smee of a crew.
It
Uh,
was great.
oh man. Wizards are awesome. I also want to give a quick shout out to a rogue that I really want to play. The Mastermind Rogue. A lot of people put this class down, but the ability to use help as a bonus action for anything that's within 30 feet of you, like
Right.
um Oh, as long as the target of the attack is within 30 feet of you. So the ally can be like 60 feet away from you. But as long as the target of the attack is within 30 feet of you, you're able to give them like an advantage on the attack. So that's pretty cool. You can cast Help as a bonus action. That's a powerful ability.
Oh, yeah.
Granting people just natural advantage. Like, fuck yeah. That's awesome. Like, that's the thing. I guess the whole point of what I'm trying to get at is that I ended up finding out through playing a little bit that there are classes that I always wanted to try Barbarian. I've always wanted to try Fighter. I've always wanted to try, some of these more physical classes. But at the end of the day, I think utility is where I sit. I love Artificers. I love Wizards, Sorcerers, and I have never played a Druid, a Druid or Cleric, but I have definitely toyed around in the workshop and kind of trying to make it work.
There's very few classes that I haven't played. Any idea of the one that I haven't? Because I've pretty much played all of the other ones, like the main ones. Cleric.
Clerics can be... That's the thing. So, like, I think that despite clerics having a shit ton of, like, domains and, like, not domains. That's not the term for it, right? No, they have divine domains, yeah.
Yeah.
Despite having all of these divine domains, I think it's this idea that you have to be like, you have to have this god in mind. Like, there is ways that you can make it interesting. As for me, when I'm a player, when I do get the option to be a player, I do not like to try to make my characters into the Eurocentric kind of vibe of medieval fantasy. The only cleric I think I've made I've made two. I've made a Warforged cleric that I really ended up liking, and then I made an orc because I liked the idea of a ritualistic orc. Like the thing with war druids is that they're able to wield shields and heavy armor, and right. I just liked the idea of a cleric tank that just goes in, like, they're there to gain the attention, right, and take the blows. They have the will of God behind them. Also, I do a shit ton of voices when I do D&D. Like, I love it. But I had this war cleric. His name was Yaskubar, and he believed in the promise and glory of war and what it would bring. And I love that kind of shit, I loved this idea that he just was so within this faith that even if God saw that the day would come when he would when his natural day to fall would come, that he would welcome it with open arms because he had lived such a life, That's how you play a cleric. That's how you have, when a paladin, right? Paladins have oaths. You stand by that oath. There's two ways to do storylines of oaths. There's tons of ways, but there's two very specific ones I enjoy. One in which the oath itself is challenging, right? Where the oath presents a challenge because it's like this. It's like, do I spare this person, or do I stand by my oath?
Yeah.
Or opposite, the Batman dilemma, right? Batman has one rule: doesn't kill, right?
Right.
Oh man, there's like so much you could do there. Like, I feel like a lot of times in D&D, like it's up to the creativity and the role playing of that player that just really drive it home. But I guess a big challenge for some of the people out there who have been playing D&D for a while is try to play a class you've never played before. I think if you really take that idea, you can have a lot of fun. There was a lot of players who play druids, for example, right?
Right.
A lot of players who play druids, they tend like there's kind of like stereotypes. There's the stereotypes of all the classes, right? But the little stereotype with druids where it's like I'm an animal or I love the forest. But there's this wonderful subclass of druid called wildfire, in which you summon a flame. Like if you've ever seen Shaman King, and you've ever seen How, he summons the primal Native American spirit of fire, right, and incinerates his foes. And he is the concept of wildfire is that destruction is necessary for growth, right?
Right.
And it's one of those things where it's like how I feel like that's his name. I feel like it.
You're like, I sure hope it is.
I really do. But like he has this, he has the spirit, and you question like, well, why is fire like such a why would it be such a strong primal force? And it's like, well, because of this exact reason. Druids who are members of the Circle of Wildfire understand the necessity of destruction as such as how a forest fire promotes growth. These druids bond with the primal spirit that harbors destructive tendencies, allowing druids to use their powers to create controlled flames that help flora and fauna reproduce and grow. But imagine like a druid character who is like chaotic in nature, where it's like, oh, this village is in the way of my beautiful forest, right? I will burn this down and even a part of this forest so that in time it will regrow. You could have like such an interesting character, Oh man. And you don't even have to be like a pyromaniac, right? It is the will of nature. It is the power. that flames are nothing more than the embodiment of will of the planet. Like you could do something crazy with it, like villainous. Like you could even try to be like Jet from Avatar, right? Where he was willing to like flood a whole village, this Fire Nation village, right? He was willing to do that shit. And you could have or you could do Zahir, once again, another character, Korra. Where it is a necessity. we are all born in the flames and we will all perish in the flames. Like you could do something crazy like that. That sounds like a good time, and it's not.
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah. Another one that I really like is Spores Druids.
I love Spores Druids. Holy shit, they're so good.
For those at home, Druids of the Circle of the Spores find beauty in decay. They see within mold and other fungi the ability to transform lifeless material into abundant, albeit somewhat strange life. These Druids believe that life and death are parts of the grand cycle. A concept that once again was kind of tied with wildfire. The idea that druids believe in grand cycles, not just the forest that they protect, but I protect the forest, says Malfurion, right? But druids could be like all sorts of things. They believe in grand cycles of life. They believe in the natural order of things. And depending on how they perceive that order, it could be all sorts of interesting, crazy ideas. Not just turning into a deer or a bear.
Right.
There are so many things that you can do with that. Druids who are in the circle of spores are able to do something called symbiotic entity. At the second level, you gain the ability to channel magic into your spores. As an action, you can expand the use of one of your wild shapes to awaken those spores, rather than transforming into a beast, and you gain +4 temporary hit points for every level you have in this class. While it is active, you gain the following benefits. When you deal your Halo of Spores damage, roll a damage die a second time and add it to the total.
Mm-hmm.
Your melee weapons attacks deal an extra 1d6 poison. You are really good at poisoning shit. You can also, at the 6th level, infest a corpse and animate it. You are a necromancer as a druid.
It's great, dude. Fucking just the ability to, because some mushrooms do have that ability where they can control bodies of insects and kind of force it to do as it needs. And I love that.
Oh fuck yeah, dude. Oh,
it's so fucking solid and I love it.
Oh man.
Oh, D&D so good.
Yeah, no, it is a really really solid thing, and I feel it is so. This isn't meant to be like a dig at anything, but I do notice that like I just feel like there's so much room for so many interesting ideas and stories, right? Like all of these concepts, right? All these spellcasting ideas are really interesting, you know? Like how like there's so much you can do with spores and with wildfire and with the wizards we mentioned earlier. I made there's a warlock thing that involves a genie, right? You make a pact with your genie, and depending on how you role play that can be a super interesting story. I wanted to do Amanda remembers this. I wanted to do a support warlock.
Yeah. Support warlocks are great.
And like
I like
oh go ahead.
go on.
Oh come on.
Uh,
You
I like the all I enjoy how versatile all of the different patrons are for a warlock. I think that warlocks, depending on their patron, could have some very interesting or very dark or very light fucking roleplay. It all just depends on who you decided to sell your soul to, you know? Because if you sell your soul to a lich for power, at the end of the line, it's that I believe you become a lich, which is not great, but it's something that a lot of wizards wanted, is the ability to be immortal. And eventually liches, just when they're done, because they no longer feel anything and all they do is gain knowledge infinitely, eventually they're just like, I want to die, but now I can't. And so they just become a mindless floating skull, essentially, with a fuck ton of power but no mind to back it up because they've essentially destroyed it.
mm,
And it's really interesting, and that could be super dark. So could anything with the Great Old Ones or the Great Machine. Because the Great Machine is the idea that, hey, you sold your soul to the machine that runs the world.
didn't we all do that?
Capitalism.
I was gonna say, didn't
Yeah,
we all do that? Yeah. V Doji says I play with my boyfriend and he has a fear of mushrooms, and so it will be lots of fun for me. They're talking about spore druids.
Fuck yeah,
Oh,
dude. Spore druids are great. I play a druid ranger mix like every other week. And she's a lot of fun. I have somehow become the tank of that campaign.
ow! How did
Good
that happen?
grief. Well, so there were 4 players originally. Now it's only 3. One of them was a fighter. The other one is a cleric. Another one is a necromancy wizard, right? And
Okay.
I'm a druid ranger. Um, the fighter had to quit because of work. We kept playing. I just kept building my character to get stronger, and I delved into wild shaping and eventually ended up talking to the DM into allowing me to become almost like a lycanthrope after like a long time of like training and working with my magic and working with a bunch of wizards, so I became more lycanthrope-esque.
Okay.
And so my originally druid ranger Goliath character became a fucking monster the more she went into it. I think the last time I told you about that session, I was a bear with flame wings and a grenade launcher fighting raptors. I think that was the last thing I told you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, that was the last thing.
Yeah, so I'm it's going pretty good as far as becoming the monster that my teammates need me to be. As far as like selling my soul to get stronger goes.
Jeez.
I mean, eventually, you either just keep going with it or you pick up the slack somewhere, and between a wizard and a weather cleric, who had mostly chosen only healing spells, I picked up the slack,
Hmm.
I became the tank we needed. Maybe not the tank we wanted. I eat people's faces now.
That is fair. All right. Well, we could probably go on about D&D for the whole fucking night, if I'm going to be honest.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. We'll come back to D&D another time. But
Definitely.
oh fuck yeah, there's always something to talk about. Actually, before we go on D&D, I do want to emphasize that I'm actually doing a Western campaign right now. I'm the DM of one of those, and I cannot express enough how much like research and effort I've had to put into like this campaign. It is balls to the walls, but it is fun. It is absolutely fun.
Oh yeah. DMing is a lot of fun.
Well, DMing can be a lot of fun, but it can also be a little stressful when it could be there are times. There are times.
Oh yeah.
Not with you guys. Like that's the thing. I lucked out. You, Nate, Nextian, and Josh. Like you guys are solid, and like all my new players are really great too. But like every now and then, there's a moment where I'm like, okay, we could do that. Like I won't be condescending about it. I won't be like a dick, but like I'll be like, huh. Didn't think that's how that was gonna go. But that's actually the thing I love the most is whenever you guys surprise me. If everything just went like hunky dory the way that it was supposed to go, I don't think I would have nearly as much fun. I think it's that on the spot like improv that you have to kind of do that really changes some stuff, that really just makes the story more interesting. That being said,
we're talking specifically about like tribe time.
No, we're not talking about tribe. everything goes back to tribe time.
Tribe time is the most balls to the wall fucking shit we do.
That is, yeah, it is. All right. Anyways, guys, we will.
Fighting God.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you all so much for listening to another episode of Mitch's Minute. If you like this video, please give it a like. Comment down below what your favorite classes in D&D are. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. We do this show every Sunday. We're gonna try to get back to doing the show every Sunday. I think that little break we did take kind of reinvigorated some aspects of it. Because that's the thing. I think at the end of the day, if we just do a show where we kind of just get to talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about, like the way that we were supposed to do this show, and we're not like begrudging to like anything like specifically like any ideas, then I think that it works out fine. I mean, honestly, we could do a bunch of episodes just talking about D&D. I'm not sure how much you guys would like that. But, like, yeah. Real quick.
Absolutely.
I wanted to read one of V Doji's comments. I remember.
Yeah, I just seen that.
I remember a while back there was a D&D thing on the server. I made on the server. I made a character for it, but I missed the first session and was too afraid to ever join in. I mean, there's nothing wrong with like just like there's never anything wrong with like if you miss a session, just DM the DM and
it's so Mitch.
Yeah, you can just DM the DM and like you can like just talk it through and like it all works out fine. Like it's all good, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, anyways, guys, thank you all so much for listening to another episode of I was gonna say of Tribe Time. Fuck.
I got you, goofy.
Oh yeah, bitch. Save Point City. Well, thank you for listening to another episode of Mitch Just Make a Minute. We will be back on Tuesday with more Final Fantasy X. I'm excited for that. Stay tuned for all sorts of other fun, dumb hijinks throughout the week. Will we be able to get Maya out of the fucking situation she's in Ace Attorney.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
I thought you were talking about like FF10.
All right, later, guys.
Later.